need to like, comment, and subscribe, because I'm going to give away some Vortex binos, and you can't win unless you do. You heard it here first. Like, comment, subscribe. Every single month of this hunting season, I'm giving away binos. Okay, bye.
All right, guys, to hunt your sanctuary or not. So here's the thing, guys. Been to a lot of properties this year. It's everywhere from Oklahoma to Maine down to North Carolina, kind of everywhere in between. Most times when we set up these properties, we set them up strategically based off of predominant winds, so that we can get in and out more often, which makes the property more huntable. And let's face it, maybe you got 20 acres, maybe you got 40 acres, maybe you got 400 acres. You want to be able to hunt the property as much as possible because that's why we bought it at the end of the day. But it needs to be huntable, meaning your access needs to be good and all these other things. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I can't think, out of the last probably 600 properties that I've been to, I can't think of a property where I said, this is your sanctuary, don't go in there under any circumstances. And with that being said, I've had dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of success stories of people killing their target deer because we're hunting those properties strategically. We're laying them out appropriately. So I'm thinking of one of my properties, and I did a little bit of quick math on it. There's no such thing as a sanctuary on that property, but I did do some math as to what percentage of the property we leave alone the majority of the season. And this is going to be different across a lot of your different scenarios, but for the most part, about 65% of my property goes untouched until it is go time. I don't believe in having a sanctuary when it's go time. When it's go time, you need to go in there and go get those bucks. But anyway, during the other 95% of the season, I would say that about 65% of my property gets left alone. Now, I can get away with hunting the majority of my property on those northwest, southwest, straight west winds, sit on the fringes and have a realistic chance at deer because we laid this property out appropriately. Make sure you put the food on the east and the bedding on the west. If you guys are laying out a property in the future, I'll give you the quick tips right now. Lay out the property so that the food is on the east, the bedding's on the west, and about 10% of the property should be in food. You're done. You're gonna have if your property's a 2 out of 10, you just jumped up to a 6 without doing anything else. But anyway, that's how that property's set up. So now we can hunt over those fun food plots that we wanted to, all season long. Get in and out of them because our access is good with westerly winds. And then as the season progresses and those prime times approach, we can and we do have the option to move into that transition area, assuming that those bucks are not making it in daylight hours. That would be entering into that 65% that we are majority leaving alone. Once again, I'm just going to call that the majority of the area that we leave alone. I'm not going to call it a sanctuary because it's not one. Because here's the thing. In the area that I'm in this given property, if I have a buck that is worth killing, and I don't think I can kill him on the fringes, for that east-west layout that we have, I'm going in to kill him. And I don't care where I have to go because that area, I am by far the only neighbor who is managing for the quality of deer that I am managing for. So if I get one of that quality or something that I'm happy to shoot or something that you're happy to shoot in your scenario, you go in there. And hopefully you go in there strategically, not just willy-nilly because you did off-season scouting and you understand how deer move throughout the property because of past occurrences, trail camera data, and all these other good things. You know where the food is, you know where the bedding is that time of the year, and all these other good things. So at the end of the day, guys, should you hunt your sanctuary? If you got one, and you need one, and you feel like you need one for whatever reason on your property, I'm not telling you that you have to have one, but I can tell you I've probably designed over 600 properties over the country, and we've never designed one where I'm like, you can't go in there. What it comes down to is if you do have a sanctuary, and you feel as if that's the only way you can get close enough to that buck so that you see him in daylight hours and can kill him with archery equipment, which means that you probably need to, depending on the time of the year, you might have to get within 100 yards of his bed. Maybe it's 250, maybe it's 400. Every property is different. And the higher stem count cover you have, the closer that you need to get to that deer because that higher stem count cover will restrict that deer from moving super fast. If you feel like you got to go in there, you go in there, guys, into that sanctuary. Here's what I will say, getting back into that stem count cover. If you have nasty, thick properties, you have to get within 100 yards, 150 tops, because he's slowly meandering and he's nipping on trees and he's eating this and he's hitting that licking branch. Now, if you're in big timber and you can see through the timber for 100, 200, 300, 400 yards, he's probably going to cover more ground because there's less things to distract him from getting from point A to point B. I can think of my Missouri property. I would have those bucks travel a half mile, before we did TSI, in about 15 minutes. In daylight hours, 8-year-old deer, in early season. So don't tell me that, you know, all scenarios are the same and that they're not traveling far. No, it's completely based on how much cover you have, the quality of the cover, and, you know, where the food is and all those other variables. But at the end of the day, guys, should you hunt your sanctuary? Hell yeah, you should. When? Well, that's for you to decide. If you feel like you can go get it done opening day, you go in there opening day. Otherwise, I'd be saving those quote-unquote sanctuaries for what we would call prime time.